All right, day 62, practice 1. I'm not going to lie, this one's kind of a beast. Got 3 parts. I want to get column method, which accepts a 2D int array of any size along with an integer representing the column I'm asking for, and it returns that column in a one-dimensional array. So, for example, if I call it with this array, which is a 3 by 5 array, and if I ask for column 3, that's 0, 1, 2, 3. I get the 4 and the 9 and the 3 back. Yeah, when I ask for column 3, in this case, I'm asking for index 3, not for the third column. So that's why, in case that freaked you out there. Okay, so let's, I go ahead and I gave you a test right here. And when we run it, nothing happens because there's no code down there. But let's go look. I've got the get column method. I gave you a little template here. And I started by making an empty array and returning it just so that the code would compile. So you could run this and not have it crash, you know. Okay, so we're going to replace this stuff with the solution. Okay, so I'm wanting up a whole column. Now the column is as long as I'm opening this as an example. Let's take this as an array. It's a 3 by 4 array. If I asked for column 1, how many elements do we need? We need 3 elements to give column 1. Well, any of the columns, and so that number, the number of items in a column is equal to the number of rows. So what we're going to do right here, instead of having an empty one-dimensional array, we're going to make it as many rows as there are. So again, if I sent over a 3 by 4 array and I asked for column 1, that would be this column, you know, the ones here. That would be, I'm going to give you back a one-dimensional array that has 1, 1, 1 in it. So the length has to be 3, the same as how many rows there are in this thing. So we've made this empty new array called temp, and I'm returning it. In fact, if we run this now, we'll get 0, 0, 0 up here instead of nothing. Okay, so now we want to get each item out of that column and put it into this temp thing. So we're going to do a for loop for int. We're going to go through the rows because we know which column we're looking for. R equals 0. R less than x dot length, x being the name of the 2D array here, and R plus plus. And right here, we're going to say temp R equals XRC. So when we want a row 0, we get row 0, column C, and we store it in item 0 of temp. And then when we get row 1, it's row 1, column C, and we store it in item 1 of temp. So anyway, this will work out fine. The test is going to show a 4, a 9, and a 3, and we're going to be done with this, except if you come up here, I said, after that works, please add code to call get column with array 3. Here's array 3, asking for column 1 and print your results like I did with the first test. This should give you 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Okay, so I want you to leave this test alone, but you can copy it and paste it right here. So you can't declare this array again, but I'm going to call it B column. Just a one-dimensional array. We're going to, remember, I'm asking you to test it with array 3, asking for column 1. So here's array. Instead of array 2, we're going to say array 3, column 1. And we should get the 20, 40, 60, 80. Bada boom, bada boom. There we go. Okay, so we're done with part 1. I think that was the hardest one. Part 2, write an add column method which accepts a 2D array of any size along with an integer representing a column in the array, then adds all the values in that column and returns the int. Call this method with the array from part. Ooh, I'm going to fix this. Call this. I already did that. It's right here. I'll fix that in the instructions. Last year I made them do all the tests, but all right. So then here's a test, and we're supposed to get 7. I think it said. Do not change this test. It should print a 7. Right now it prints. This is column 4 sum, and it says 0. So let's go down and take a look. We're at add column. So what we're trying to do here is we get a 2D array called X, and we're going to add all the items in that column. So this line is great. We made a temp variable that's 0. Now we're going to go through all the rows. Int r equals 0, r less than x dot length, again, r plus plus. How do I know we're going to go through all the rows? Because if we have a 2D array, this is a 3x4 array, and if I want to add up column 2, we're going to get row 0, column 2, row 1, column 2, row 2, column 2. So we need a for loop that's going to go through the rows because we have a fixed column element here. And what we do is say temp plus equals x rc. And then return temp. I don't know what happened to my spacing, but it's going to be okay. Come on, buddy. Get back there. Let's run it. And I think I said it was supposed to add up to 7. Yeah, column 4, sum 7. So that was my built-in test. So don't think you're done. Come up to part 2, add a second test with array 3, column 1, and you should get 420. Ha ha. So I'm asking you to add a test right here. You can copy my test, but then be sure. I don't want you to change my test. I want my test to still be there. And this is column 1 sum, and we're using add column, but with array 3. And I want you to use column 1. And it's going to say column 1 sum equals 420. Haha. Okay. So now we've got 4 test results printing out over here. And let's go to part 3. Write an add row method. It accepts a 2D int array along with an integer representing a row, and it adds all the values and returns the int. Call this method with array 2, asking for row 1. You should get 30 as a result. That's the test I put here. So this should give us 30. Then I want you to add your own test with array 3, row 1, and you should get 70. Okay, so we'll come down here. We're going to write the add row method. So this one gets a row instead of a column, and it's going to add up everything in that row. So we're going to do a for loop that does the columns. For int c equals 0, c less than x 0 dot length. Remember, to get how many columns, you have to use the you have to grab the 0 element or any one of the proper rows. But I like to use the 0 one. Now we're going to say temp plus equals x. Now row is fixed, but c is in the for loop, and we're done. I told you this value should give us, I think it's at 30. Yeah. And then I said again, add your own test. Please don't change this test, but feel free to copy it. It'll help you make your test. We're going to use array 3, row 1, and we should get 70. So array 3, row 1, and we should get 70. Yep. So here's perfect output. That's what I'm requiring. So don't cannibalize my tests with your tests. I want to see my test and I want to see your test. Part of this assignment is I want you to be able to write a test. Even if you're just copying my code and then pasting it and then changing the values, I want you to be part of that process. Thanks.